Good morning, Manitoba. I'm Larry McIntosh, and I'll be your host for the next hour and every Saturday morning from 8 to 9. Thank you for tuning in. You know, this day in history, February 7th, 1962, the embargo on imports from Cuba was put into place by the United States. So back in 1962, February 7th, they put an embargo against product coming in from Cuba. So now look at today's history where the United States is opening relationships with Cuba again. In February 7th, 1971, Switzerland gave women the right to vote for the first time. 1971, that's hard to believe. 1945, World War II, the leaders, the Prime Minister Winston Churchill, President Franklin D. Roosevelt, and Marshal Joseph Stalin met to talk about ending World War II on this day in 1945. And the one that probably we all remember, although I was quite young at the time, February 7th, 1964, the Beatles landed in New York City for the first time to appear on The Ed Sullivan Show, and which had 73 million viewers. So that's what happened on February 7th over the last several years. My guest this morning is Jolie-Anne Horn, Community Relations Representative with McDonald's Restaurants of Canada. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Doing great. And you?
Are you loving it? I had to say it. I had to say it.
It's one of those slogans that resonates around the world, and you say it all the time without even knowing it now. So,
yeah, it's a great campaign. It's in your head, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But let's talk about McDonald's in Manitoba. So how many restaurants are in Manitoba?
We've got 39 locations throughout Manitoba.
Wow.
And, 39 in Winnipeg, 56 in Manitoba. So the ones in Winnipeg, part of them are corporately owned and some of them are franchised. And in rural Manitoba, they're all franchised.
So I had absolutely no idea. How many in Winnipeg? 39?
39.
Wow. See,
39
I know
locations.
they're in fairly frequent locations. Shelley and I stop every morning, either on the one in Notre Dame or the one in King Edward for coffee. So I know that they're around, but I didn't realize there's that many.
Well, we count the one. There's McPhillips Station, Club Rage, and Casino, and then the 6 Walmarts. 6 out of the 7 Walmarts
True,
have a
okay.
McDonald's location inside as well. So you can find our great products in there. Trying to think where else. City Place. If people forget, we've got one there.
All right, that's true too.
I know the mall tenants and the office towers know that we're there. So
Yeah.
if you're ever downtown, we are in City Place. So we have
So,
another.
so lots of locations. So you're saying some are franchised and some are corporately owned. Now, from someone going to the restaurant, we wouldn't know the difference, right?
No,
And that's
we
the
wouldn't.
idea, I would assume.
Exactly, and that's that type of relationship or mix of corporate versus franchise is found across the world. So there's some markets you'll find it's all corporately owned, or you travel and there's one that's all corporate. So franchise. So it varies. It varies.
Varies a lot. And, sometimes you go to a restaurant and they say, oh, this one's a franchise. But you really, from my perspective, you wouldn't know the difference other than if the server happened to mention this is a franchise versus a corporate store, right?
And you shouldn't. McDonald's is McDonald's, and that's what we pride ourselves on is our brand, and that's why we make sure that with the franchisees that there's support for them as well, and we have very strict standards in our corporate stores and our franchisee stores to make sure that they are all the same and consistent across the board, so that when a guest goes to McDonald's in Winnipeg versus going to McDonald's in Halifax or Vancouver, you're getting the same experience.
Now, I will say that if you go to McDonald's around the world, I assume there's probably some subtle differences.
Oh, of course. Then, of course, you start getting into those variables and the intricacies and the stories. And when I meet new people here in Winnipeg and they're like, why don't we have this product? I just came from Hawaii and they have pineapple. Was out on the East Coast in Canada and they have the McLobster.
Lobster, yep.
When are you bringing McLobster? And I'm like, it all depends on what the customer profile is in that market, what they want. It's all supply and demand as well, and what goes well with that market. Beef may sell more in Alberta than it does in Ontario, or chicken may be the big thing here. Maybe the filet-o-fish could be the big product in another market. So it's interesting to hear those stories, and I love to hear those stories because it just goes to show that, McDonald's, we have the same fries everywhere, and we have some other similarities, the Big Mac sandwich and how it's built, but there's all those fun products too, the menu items that you can only get in that market.
And you come up with limited time items too, and you work those through. But I think you're probably known, well, for the Golden Arches. You're obviously known for that. But is French fries really the big thing you would be known for?
There's two iconic products that McDonald's is known for, and that is the Big Mac and our world famous fries. So definitely, our fries, the cut is the same across the board, and the way they're made. So of course, there are some differences once again because of things like the soil and the growing conditions and things like that, and because the fries are local. So with Canada, we have different potato farms across the country. We've got some right here in Manitoba, and there's a McCain plant too right here in Manitoba, that produces some of the fries that are supplied here and also across the country. So
That's why the fries are better than Manitoba than anywhere else,
of
because
course,
the potatoes are grown right here in Manitoba.
of course,
Now, we don't sell them, but some of our growers grow them, and some of
yes.
other growers that aren't related to Peak of the Market grow them, but they're grown in Manitoba.
Exactly. And I believe there's two variations that we use commonly, and that is the russet Burbank, and I can never pronounce the other one. It's the Zepedy, or how do you pronounce it?
No idea.
There's another. I thought, you're.
I don't sell
Potatoes.
French fries. Russet
True.
Burbank's the only one I knew, too.
Yeah, so russet Burbank is the main one, and there is one other potato variety that is very commonly used in our French fries.
All I know is they're very good.
They are.
They are very good.
They are.
And then, and one of the highlights, and we touched on it earlier, is the coffee. And we're going to come back to that in the next segment, because coffee is important to me, and my McDonald's coffee in the morning is very important to me. But the other thing is the French fries and the fact that they're from Manitoba.
Exactly.
We got to talk about that more.
Yes. for
French
sure.
fries are from Manitoba. Well, the potatoes are from Manitoba.
Yeah, potatoes are from Manitoba.
Made into fries here, cooked at your local McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't get
That's
much
right.
better than that.
No, not at all.
We'll be right back with Jolie-Anne Horn, Community Relations Representative for McDonald's Restaurants of Canada, after we take this break for your weather update. Welcome back to Food and Friends. I'm Larry McIntosh. Thanks for tuning in. Food and Friends Radio is now on TV. Each radio show is filmed and will be posted on MyToba.ca tomorrow. So if you want to see the TV version of this or previous radio shows, please visit MyToba.ca. Thanks to 680 CJOB's Nicole, who produces our show, and Riley, who operates the camera, as well as the teachers of the Broadcasting and Media Arts program at Tech-Voc High School. You can also listen to an audio podcast of Food and Friends at SoundCloud.com and at the iTunes Store. So please just do a search for Food and Friends with Larry at MyToba.ca or SoundCloud.com or at the iTunes Store, and all the shows will come up for your listening or viewing pleasure. Now, it's very important for me to mention that Food and Friends is only available because of 680 CJOB and its advertisers, so please tune in right here every Saturday morning at 8 or listen live at cjob.com. We're back with Jolie-Anne Horn, Community Relations Representative with McDonald's Restaurant of Canada. So before the break, we were talking about coffee, and during the break, we we're talking about coffee. So that's what we do in the morning, right? We get up, we drive, we stop, we get our coffee. So that's
Coffee's
important.
part of dessert too. That's part of my evening routine. Never mind.
I can't go too late anymore because it might keep me up, right? I'm getting older, and caffeine starts to affect me towards the end of the day. But that's the way we start the day off. And somebody always goes out during the day and gets coffee at lunchtime and generally in the afternoon. It's always McDonald's.
We can always do an evening run and get our decaf.
There you go. But it's not quite the same. But, Shelley and I are fortunate enough we get to travel. We visit customers across Canada and throughout the United States because we ship Manitoba vegetables throughout U.S. and Canada. But coffee in the United States at McDonald's is different than Canada. Is that correct?
It is a different roast. So the McDonald's U.S. blend is slightly different from McDonald's Canada.
So why do they change to the Canadian blend? Because that's outstanding.
It's all based on consumer feedback and trial and what they've tried in our kitchens and what they've brewed and blind taste tests. So with Canada, we changed our coffee in, I believe it was 2008. And since then, our market share has more than doubled in terms of coffee, and we've now become a regular part of many people's routines, like yours and Shelley's. With our coffee, it's also right up there now. McCafe is now right up there. McCafe coffee is now right up there with Big Mac and our fries here in Canada. So our coffee's come a long way, and it is great coffee.
And I would say if you go back to 2008, you said?
It's about 2008.
I wouldn't have bought coffee there, to be honest with you. I didn't enjoy the coffee there. Maybe too strong. I don't know what the reason was. But since then, your market share, as you must have gone through the roof. It must have really.
Oh, it has. And from there, I think it was April 2009, we had our first free coffee event.
Right. Oh, I
And
remember that
since
well.
then,
You've had a few.
with the free coffee event, that was a great opportunity for people who hadn't tried our coffee in a while or who normally would bypass McDonald's and go to another person to get their coffee to say, hey, you know what, maybe I will try it. And then love it and fall in love with our coffee and make it part of their day. So uh, since then, yeah, we've had several of these events year after year, and our market share keeps growing. And sure enough, last year we are now in retail stores. So our coffee McCafe has definitely come a long way.
It has come a long way. Now, did it start? No, Shelley and I were in Germany for a show, and there was a McCafe there long before it came to Canada. Was it tested in other markets before it was launched?
If memory serves me correctly, McCafe, the whole concept started in Australia.
Australia, okay.
So
I've never been to Australia, so I didn't see that
I
one.
haven't been either, but some of our restaurant managers were there for a convention one year, and McCafe was huge. It was they actually had specific restaurants dedicated just to the McCafe lineup. And you're seeing more and more of those across the world as well. So you see the McDonald's restaurant, and then you see part of it is just McCafe. So it's definitely something that is growing and continues to grow.
So you were kind enough. You've brought 3 great prizes for us to give away today. So this is going to be the first one right now. We're giving away our Food and Friends listeners a chance to win a prize in 3 different segments over the remainder of the show. So the first prize is a McDonald's McCafe coffee mug and a $50 gift certificate. Now, if you haven't seen these coffee mugs, you come into Peak of the Market. Shelley sits at the front door there. You'll see the coffee mug on her desk. It's not just your normal coffee mug. It's well made. It's a really great coffee mug. So the McDonald's McCafe coffee mug and a $50 gift card. If you want to enter your name into a draw to win these 2 prizes, please email me at larrymcintosh@peakmarket.com by 10 a.m. this morning, and in the subject line put, I'm loving it. So again, enter your name into the draw by for the McDonald's McCafe coffee mug. I should slow down here. And a $50 gift card. Email me at Larry McIntosh, and McIntosh is MC, at peakmarket.com by 10 o'clock this morning and put in the subject line, I'm loving it. And we'll do a draw, and the winner will be notified by email later this weekend, and they can drop by Peak of the Market in Winnipeg to pick up their prize. So this is a great mug. Thank you for bringing prizes for our listeners.
Oh, more than happy to do that.
Do you use this mug at home?
I do, and I've got several of them, and various McCafe mugs over the years. And from attending different conferences and conventions for McDonald's, we get some great mugs as well.
You get free mugs?
Of course.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a nice mug. And we have more prizes in the next half hour, so stay tuned to be able to win more. But here's your first opportunity to win a coffee mug and a $50 gift certificate. So is your favorite coffee at McDonald's? Yeah. What else are you gonna say, right? Or are you a hot chocolate person? Do you like those fancy coffees?
No, actually, I've just two splash of milk in mine, and I like the medium dark roast. I've always trended towards that type of blend. So I find other coffees are either too weak or too bitter, and ours is just perfect.
We'll be right back with Jolie-Anne Horn, Community Relations Representative for McDonald's Restaurants after we take this break. Welcome back to Food and Friends. I'm Larry McIntosh, and it's time for our recipe segment called Now We're Cooking. You don't need to write this recipe down, as it is today's recipe of the day at peakmarket.com and now in the Winnipeg Free Press. Today's recipe is herb dip. Herb dip. Okay, here's what you need for the recipe. 1 cup of cottage cheese, half a cup of plain yogurt, 1 green onion chopped, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of celery seed, a 1/4 teaspoon of dry mustard, and a 1/4 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce. In a food processor or blender, put the cottage cheese and yogurt and blend it until it's smooth. Stir the green onions and all the seasoning, and then refrigerate overnight. Well, that's pretty simple. This recipe can be used for a dip for fresh vegetables, or it can be served on fish. I recommend fresh vegetables, but I might be biased there. This recipe serves 8. And this recipe is the recipe of the day at peakmarket.com and in the Winnipeg Free Press. And all the recipes on our website or in the Winnipeg Free Press have both metric and imperial measurements. You can also get Peak of the Market's free recipe app with over 4,000 recipes on it. And it's available absolutely free for any smartphone or iPad. And has great features such as searching recipes for options like keywords with potatoes or chicken. You can rate recipes and add them to your favorite list. You can add ingredients to a shopping list. My favorite, you can resize the font of the directions so it'll be bigger. It's a great recipe app, so you can download it. Just search for Peak Recipes. We'll be right back with Jolie-Anne Horn, Community Relations Representative with McDonald's Restaurant after this break. Welcome back. I'm Larry McIntosh. Thanks for tuning in. Peak of the Market is on Twitter. Follow us at Peak of the Market for recipes and Food and Friend guest updates. We have over 150,000 Twitter followers, and we'd love to have you follow us to 150,000. Join the group. Again, we're at Peak of the Market, or you can follow me at Larry McIntosh. We're back with Jolie-Anne Horn, Community Relations Representative with McDonald's Restaurants of Canada. Now, we were talking in the last half hour. You brought some prizes to give away today. So, and they're unbelievable. So we're going to give our listeners a chance right now to get a prize. So tell us about the prize package. Describe this. Paint the picture. It's unbelievable.
So we've got this wonderful McCafe themed package, and what you could potentially win is a Hamilton Beach Flex Brew. So it gives you the option of brewing a full pot of coffee or a single serve. So we've also included, of course, a 950-gram tin of our ground coffee, the McCafe ground coffee, which is available at grocery stores across Canada, and also 4 of the McCafe mugs that Larry has said that Shelley keeps proudly on her desk and uses every day.
Yep.
So we've got 4 of those as well, and 2 boxes of the McCafe Keurig compatible coffee pods. So that is, and also the carousel to hold your brand new pods in as well. So it's a full package to get you started with everything you're going to need to make our coffee right in your own home.
I'm not sure how you carried this in today. It's a rather large package.
Told you, I am very good at Tetris. I packed it all up, moved some boxes, and it still looks great.
This is a great prize pack, and thank you for describing it. So if you want to enter your name into a draw to win this prize, please email me at larrymcintosh@peakmarket.com by 10 a.m. this morning with the subject line, Great Coffee. So again, to enter into the draw, email me at larrymcintosh, and McIntosh is MC, at peakmarket.com by 10 a.m. this morning, and just put it in the subject line, Great Coffee. And we'll do a draw, and we'll notify the winner by email later this weekend, and they can pick up the prize at Peak of the Market in Winnipeg. So we were talking off air about this program. You have Our Food, Your Questions. Is that the correct name?
Yes, that's right. So Our Food, Your Questions. So that is the platform that was created for McDonald's Canada so that our customers could start asking the questions that they've always been wanting to ask and getting the answers in the form of an email back or a text or a video. So what customers or non-customers who are curious about what McDonald's is about can go to McDonald's.ca, go under food quality, and there's a link there to Our Food, Your Questions. We started this food quality campaign in 2012, and since then we've answered over, I think it's 30,000 questions since then.
Wow.
And it could be something as simple as what is in this product to is this gluten-free? Or is this, where do you source this? How is this made? So all those kinds of questions that have people been going, well, where do I get the answer? And how can I go to Our Food, Your Questions, and you can see what's on there. If there's a question in your mind already going, okay, type it in the search bar. It's probably been asked, and the answer is just there waiting for you to read it or watch it. So I actually, right before I came here, I was watching the potato video, and where the process of how it's harvested and
now I got to say that wasn't filmed in Manitoba, which we take a little offense to, but I think it's New Brunswick, isn't it?
It was in New Brunswick.
They have potatoes there too. I get that.
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
Yeah,
right.
but it was harvest season on that end of Canada, so they had to go to where harvest season was to be able to.
I'm not too offended. Go ahead.
Well, at least our potatoes are, yes, the ones in Manitoba. We've got a McCain plant right here too in Manitoba. So watch that, and you'll see similarities.
Absolutely.
And it does look like a prairie landscape too there in that in that video. So it's a great way for us to engage our customers and create conversation. Building our brand, you can't tell people what to do. You can't tell them what they should feel or think about your brand. So they need to make that decision themselves. So by having this type of platform and campaign and having them be able to ask those questions, even those sensitive questions, and get answers and get factual answers, that's how we make change. That's how we grow our brand. And that's why it's been so successful here in Canada. And it gives our guests an opportunity to be able to talk about McDonald's with confidence.
So when you launched this several years ago, I remember thinking, I don't know if this is going to go over or not. And then I should question myself when I question someone like McDonald's that knows what they're doing. But I was wondering, but it's clearly gone over well. And people have asked the questions about where the potatoes are from or what are chicken fingers made out of or whatever the McNuggets are made out of. All those questions that sometimes social media has things on there that are totally unfactual that go on whatever it might be, mini carrots or a big one that's there's been rumors about how they make mini carrots in California, which aren't factual, but it's a good way of getting the true facts out there on things.
And there's also one of the great things we've been able to add since we started the campaign is videos as well. So that also helps create a visual because we're visual. We learn from what we see. You see a picture, you see a video. It generates a better understanding of the process as well. So one of the questions was, are your fries gluten-free? And yes, they are, because our fries, and this is what I just learned as well, and not knowing this, but understanding that there's more and more people that are going gluten-free,
Absolutely.
or whether it's by choice or because they have to, is that our fry oil is dedicated just to the fries. So there's no bread product that interacts like from our McChicken or any of the other breaded items that we have. Those are in a different oil vat that fried separately so that, yes, we can say our fries are gluten-free. Also, is there beef or any other animal product in your oil? Nope, it's 100% vegetable oil. So there's things like that you can find on Our Food, Your Questions.
And that's at McDonald's.ca.
McDonald's.ca and under food quality, and you can find Our Food, Your Questions on there.
Now, this started in Canada. Has it gone anywhere else in the...
It's, I believe it just started in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
I'm not a subject matter expert on what's happening in the U.S. and what the campaigns are over there. Familiar with it, but don't know a lot about where they're at with their campaigns.
That's a great idea. They should be doing it if they're not.
For sure.
We'll be right back with Jolie-Anne and Horn, Community Relations Representative for McDonald's Restaurants, after we take this break. Welcome back to Food and Friends. I'm Larry McIntosh. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you've had an opportunity to see our new bright and colorful potato and onion bags at your store. Peak of the Market's new Sesame Street potato onion bags feature Elmo, Bert, Grover, Oscar, Abby Kadabi, Rosetta, Cookie Monster, Big Bird, and Ernie, 9 different Sesame Street characters. Along with the characters, you'll still see the Peak of the Market logo, so you're guaranteed it is grown right here in Manitoba. We're very pleased to partner with Sesame Street on the Eat Biter program. And the Sesame Street Eat Biter program is all about encouraging children and adults to eat more fruits and vegetables. So the next time you see your favorite Sesame Street character, I hope it reminds you to have an extra serving of fruits and vegetables. We're back with Jolie-Anne Horn, Community Relations Representative with the McDonald's Restaurants of Canada. So you have 2 young kids. How old are your kids?
My daughter is 5 and my son is soon to be 2.
And are they Sesame Street fans or?
They actually more my little guy. He can't pronounce his L's, but Emo is very popular in the house right now. And I'm sure once I take him grocery shopping next time at one of the stores, I'm sure he's going to gravitate to that. But then again, he gravitates to vegetables.
Oh,
he
there.
loves his fruit and vegetables. So no problems there.
Very good.
5-year-old, oh.
More challenge?
Yes, she loves French fries.
Oh, it is a vegetable.
Loves French fries. Loves cheese. We have tons of Bothwell cheese in our fridge right now. Loves that. Won't touch a pierogi. I've tried to convince her. It's got the potato just like a French fry. It's got the cheese just like the block of cheese in the fridge. And dough is kind of like pizza dough. Like, why don't you try it?
But sometimes it takes time. Right?
Yeah.
They gotta learn themselves. I
I've been
understand.
trying for 3 years. And
How about broccoli? Try that.
broccoli has to have a cheese sauce for her.
Mm.
So I can. Or I'm always looking for recipes that you can throw a vegetable or fruit puree into. So
You're trying to
that
hide them. Is that what you're trying to do?
it
Really?
well, if it gets more vegetables and fruit into my kids and myself and my husband, then sure, why not?
There you
Why
go.
not? So, definitely always a challenge to create a menu in our house because of the different things that. But I mean, that's like any other parent who's got more than one child. Sometimes it's, or even just one who's a fussy eater. So,
It's even tough for Shelley and I because we don't always like the same things either.
Well,
There's
there
only
you
two of
go.
us.
oh, that's even. Sorry, no suggestions from here. You go to one restaurant for takeout, you go to another restaurant, and we'll meet together at home.
Oh, we compromise. Shelley just does it my way. No. But we have another giveaway for our listeners here, so let's get to that. So you brought some prizes today, and this one is a McDonald's McCafe coffee mug and a $50 gift certificate. So you can get, these are beautiful coffee mugs if you haven't seen them. They're like a heavy duty. It's one that sits on Shelley's desk, but it's a McDonald's McCafe coffee mug and a $50 gift certificate. So how do you enter? Good question. Simply send your name into the draw, and we'll draw it out later today. For this prize, please email me at larrymcintosh@peakmarket.com. That's larrymcintosh@peakmarket.com by 10 a.m. this morning, and put in the subject line French fries. So as simple as that, just to get your name put into the draw for the McDonald's McCafe coffee mug and $50 gift certificate, email me at larrymcintosh, McIntosh is MC, at peakmarket.com by 10 o'clock this morning, and just put in the subject line French fries, and we'll put you in the draw. And the winner will be notified by email later this weekend, and they can pick up their prize at Peak of the Market in Winnipeg. So off air, we were talking about Ronald McDonald House. So you talked about, you're on the show a couple years ago, we chatted about it, but tell us a little bit about the house.
So Ronald McDonald House Manitoba is a home away from home for families who have sick children or children receiving treatment at Children's Hospital. And one of the extensions since then as well is the Ronald McDonald Family Room right inside Children's Hospital. It is one of the, I might be wrong, but I believe it is the biggest family room in Canada right now. I think there might be another one under construction right now. But it's a place where families can stay together when their child is sick, especially if if you're coming from outside of the city and your child needs treatment, and there's a bunch of siblings or other family members that you want there to be with you, to support you and to support your child. The house enables that to become a possibility for families. The house has a full kitchen. It's got 12 or 14 bedrooms. Oh, I should know this off by heart. But they do have rooms, individual rooms for the families to stay in, and they're only like 2 blocks from Children's Hospital on Bannatyne. So some parents find comfort in just being able to see the hospital from their room.
Sure.
So to keep them as close as they can to their child is part of that healing process as well, right? So keep families together, and hopefully they get through that, and they're
Making it a little bit easier for the families in a very, very tough time.
Exactly.
There's no question about that.
Exactly.
So there's 12 or more rooms.
12 or 14.
12 or 14 rooms. So people can stay there while their child's at Children's Hospital,
Yes.
and they use the kitchen, or how's it work?
There's a full kitchen there. They can purchase their own groceries. Each room is designated a bin or an area in the commercial fridge or in the cupboards so that they can bring in their own food product as well and cook dinner for themselves. Or there's also the common area where there's always products that are donated or where the house is able to buy through donations. Fruits and vegetables, 4 liters of milk, 2 liters of milk, and things like that, eggs. So those are the common items that you'll find right in the house in case a family doesn't or isn't able to get groceries on their own.
So if people want to support that, are you looking for donations for the house or volunteers, or how's that all work?
It's a combination of both.
Okay.
It's whatever people can do to help. And with the house, they do, of course, like any other nonprofit group, will take monetary donations, and they could use grocery store gift cards to be able to purchase groceries. They also get donations from some other organizations for food products. So another program, I guess, where people can help with is the Home for Dinner program. So that program, I mean, people listening to your show, it's about food, friends, and family. And with that, you want to, if there's a way, I'd say go to the website. If you love to cook, check out the Home for Dinner program.
All right, we'll be right back after we take this break. Welcome back to Food and Friends. My guest next Saturday, February 14th at 8 a.m. is Manitoba's own Juno Award winner, singer-songwriter Joey Gregorish. You know Joey from his many hit songs, including Down by the River, Jody, and our favorite, Together, the new wedding song. Maybe we can convince Joey to sing us a song for Valentine's Day. My guest today has been Jolie-Anne Horn, Community Relations Director, representative with McDonald's Restaurant of Canada. Now, you were talking about Ronald McDonald House in the last segment. We didn't really get a chance to get all the information out. Is there a website for it?
Yes, so please go to rmhmanitoba.org. So once again, rmhmanitoba.org.
Or you can do a search for Ronald McDonald House Manitoba. And looking for volunteers or monetary things. Great organization. Thanks so much for being on Food and Friends.
Thank you.
This hour is just absolutely flown by. Take care, everybody, and please don't forget to eat your veggies.